Hey, I'm Harry Mays, and do you have your airline tickets ready? Because the Eagles are going across the pond again to play the stinking Jaguars. Woohoo!
I'm Louie DiBiase. If the Eagles regress in 2026, the entire country is going to see it based on this schedule.
I'm Marc Farzetta, and the narrative is now changing on Jalen Hurts, including that flip-flopper Fowler. All that and more in this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
And welcome to Locked On Eagles Squad Show. It's great to have you guys along for the ride. We're going to get into Jaire Alexander's farewell in the Players Tribune. We're going to get into how Kevin Patullo built the Eagles. Go figure. Also the narrative on Jalen Hurts in the schedule, what we know. But here's something I haven't said in a very long time, fellas. We're going to go to the phones as we have Jason Martinez in traffic right now on his way back from the Flyers press conferences. The Flyers, Danny Briere addressing the media. Jason, you're in your car right now to link up for Squad Show?
We're mobilizing, as Jody Mack once said. Is this a free call at star 610 on your cellular device?
Yes.
Sounds like he's calling in from a radio station landline.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones.
Go ahead with your point. All right. Well, Jason. All right. You travel safely. It's breaking up a little bit. This is just like doing radio in the 90s. I didn't do radio in the 90s, but I remember listening to it. Mm-hmm. Let us know when you get home. We know you're in transit, so jump on when you get in your studio. Okay. I know you're gonna take a lap around your studio, of course, at home in the car and all that stuff that you have there. So
he's just so excited to talk about the Eagles' schedule.
Oh yeah,
great day. Yeah. It's one of the best days in sports, right? Schedule release day.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. This is an event. It feels like an event, but
you know what this is? This is a shining example of why the NFL is king of kings in the sports entertainment world. I say it all the time. You guys know what I'm gonna say. 17 things that really matter throughout a year for an NFL fan. You're guaranteed those. And then there's the playoffs if you're lucky, right? If you have a good team, right? And then it's nothing for the other 365 days, except for the fact that they make it worth your time. They own still the calendar year somehow magically, and the schedule release is the most brilliant example of that, because all it literally is a calendar being released, a schedule being released.
Just the order of it too, Mark, because we already know, we've known the opponents for months. That's the funniest part is it's not really unveiling anything crazy new. It's just the order of it. And by the way, a lot of these games leak before tonight. So it is proof that the NFL just has us where they want us. And I think they always probably will.
And here it is again with the leaks, Louie. I mean, how does this happen?
We have 9 games already figured out. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess they gave out the international schedule for the entire league yesterday, and the Eagles were part of that, as in my open. They're playing in London against the Jaguars. But then all this other stuff starts to filter out about this primetime game and this holiday game and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, how do they allow this stuff to leak?
Especially with it being such an event tonight, right? But I think they want that. I think they want us talking about it all day, all week, right? I mean, they like to leak things here and there, the Thanksgiving slate, Christmas. All of it involves the Eagles, I guess, though. So we're going to have some busy holidays.
Yeah, how do they allow it? They love it. They absolutely love this because it just keeps us talking about it, which is how they own the calendar. Now, here's what we know. Week 1, Washington Commanders, September 13th. That's 4:25. Then jump ahead, week 3 at Chicago, Monday Night Football, September 28th. Then week 5, they're hopping over the pond to Jolly Old to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is worth noting, an away game, so the Eagles don't lose the home game. That's the only thing I really care about.
Not like against the Packers, when they lost the home game. Yeah.
Exactly, in São Paulo, Brazil. Right. That's a 9:30 a.m. kickoff in good old London. Then jump ahead to week 7. They got the Cowboys on October 26th, another Monday Night Football matchup. Then November 1st, they have the Washington Commanders for a Sunday Night Football game. Jump ahead now to week 12 at Dallas. That's the Thanksgiving Day game. 4:30. So they got the tweener game there. Week 15 in Seattle on December 19th. And then this is the one that absolutely crushes me. It breaks my heart. It's the worst possible thing I could see in my sports calendar year. We're working Christmas Eve, boys. So no seven fishes for me.
Yep.
Houston Texans, December 24th on Amazon Prime, and then they round up the rest of the season, or on they round out the season against the New York Giants on the road, Week 18.
We practically gave the whole schedule. Like, how do we know? We know practically the whole thing.
That's 7 standalone games, by the way, where just the Eagles are playing. So we have two Monday night games already, a Sunday night game, a Saturday game,
a Thursday
Thanksgiving,
game.
Christmas Eve, London, Sunday morning.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I said in the open, like, if the Eagles stink this year, the NFL's not banking on it because they are putting them on the national stage. And the Eagles always get that kind of platform, but especially this year.
Now, do they get the bye after the London week, do you think? Or do they have did you give out a game already for that week, Mark?
No, Week 6 is open for a bye. Week 6 is open.
Okay. That's probably when the bye would occur, you would think.
I hope so. Yeah, for the Eagles' sake, yeah.
It sounds like
that's
that or
10
Week
games.
11. Yeah, Week 6 or 11.
What's Week 11?
Week 11 is open. That's before they take on the Cowboys on Thursday.
Okay.
So that's the Thanksgiving game. So Week 11, maybe instead of a short week, they give them the bye week in Week 11, possible. But that's 10 games, Harry, to your point. That's 10 games in total. That's 9 games with start times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 primetime games.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, the Christmas Eve game, that stinks, especially with the Texans. There's no juice there whatsoever. I know the Texans are a decent team and everything, but now is that game in Houston?
That game is in Philadelphia.
Oh, it's in Philly. Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Which I like because that's a Seattle Seahawks game at home in South Philadelphia. Then that's a game against Houston, again, on Thursday night, but that's at least at home. So you have those back-to-back home games. It's not like you're going to Seattle and then coming back. See, this is why they leak this stuff. So we already start breaking it down. See, they're not on the road. They're home in this one. And then they're going to be home again the following week. So you don't have that long plane ride in between. Yeah. Like, God, they got us by the cojones, boys. They really do. But the only one that really pisses me off is the Thursday night game, but that's only for personal reasons. Everything else is like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, the only question about that Christmas Eve game is whether I'm going to be doing the postcast from Florida or from Pennsylvania. That's about the only mystery there.
It's a shame it's not a pregame, so you could show like sunny, beautiful weather in Florida,
exactly.
And then unfortunately, it's like snowing back here or something, which would actually be pretty nice. All right, when you do look at the schedule, what's the first thing you look for, Louie? When you look at the schedule, what's the first thing you look for? Like, it comes out tonight, 8:00. I should say the rest of it comes out tonight. What do you look for when you look at the NFL schedule?
I always look at the top of the schedule, the start of September, halfway through October, because for me, that's such a crucial time. If you go in a quick hole, right, you're 1-2, 2-3, 2, like if things start to spiral early on in the season, it's really hard to come back from that. So I tend to like when the schedule's a little bit lighter at the top. I don't love when there's divisional games to start the season, like the Eagles have yet again with Washington. I feel like week 1 is such a weird kind of game, rusty, unpredictable. Putting such an important game that high up is, for me, not ideal, but that's for me what I always look at right when it comes out is, okay, what does that initial start look like? And then where are the tough stretches? Like, I'll never forget that 2023 gauntlet where it feels like they went 2 straight months playing contenders. So for me personally, that's something I always look out for.
Harry, what do you look for?
Yeah, well, I always look where the bye is. Like, do they have an early bye? Is it a late bye? Because, obviously we've seen these bye weeks have been really crucial for the Eagles over the last couple of years, where they've made major adjustments and changed the course of their football season. Thanks to an early bye that year, they went on to win the Super Bowl and so forth. So I look for that, and then I also look for, do they have, how many back-to-back road games do they have?
Yeah.
Are they going out to the West Coast and then staying out there? That kind of stuff. The road games out of conference or road games out of division are the ones that I look at.
Yeah, the first thing I look for is the at. That's how many ats are back to back to back. And it was I got 3 ats, And I go, that's a long road trip, but same thing as you. If it's West Coast, how long they staying out there? How's that going to work? And then I look to the more specific. I look at September, and I look at the end of the season. I look at the last 5 games. I look at the first 5 games. I look at the last 5 games, because we all talk about, if it's a close race in that December, going into December, how close things are going to be. And you're always going to have those divisional games stacked up at the end of the year that are really going to matter. And also you look at the ats there. Yeah. Also, like, for instance, we talk about week 18, you're going to be at the Meadowlands against the Giants. Week 17 is week 18 at the Giants. Week 17 is open. Week 16, this is interesting. You're not a divisional game. That week 17 is still open. So that might be the Commanders. Maybe it's the it could be.
No, it wouldn't be the Commanders.
No, it wouldn't be the Commanders. It wouldn't be the Cowboys. So it looks like they're not going to stack them at the end of the season. So that's interesting to me out of the gate. You look at the way this stacks up, though, but before you get to the end of the season, Houston's obviously a team that's going to be looking to get better. Seattle's a team that is come off a pretty damn good year. Yeah. And then you have the Giants for a matchup there that'll obviously be the second of the season, and you're going up against a team that is going to be the second time you get a look at the new look Giants. So we know a lot already, not everything, but that's what we're looking at right now for the Eagles. It is Seattle, Houston, then week 17's open. We don't know what that is yet. And then week 18 against the Giants. Dallas in the second half of the season, the second time, that's week 12. Yeah, you pretty much know the divisional games.
Second half of the season looks, I don't want to say tough, but I feel like it's backloaded a little bit with a lot of the good teams you play, right? I mean, you've got 2 matchups against Dallas in the second half of the season. Like you said, you've got Seattle, Houston. The one game that we don't know where it's slated still is that Rams home game. I do wonder where that game's going to be put, because like I said, the second half of the season already is kind of stacked. Like if you have to go, I don't know if it's week 13 or 14 where that game's put, or week 17. I mean, you've got, like I said, Seattle and Houston already in there. I would prefer LA maybe to be earlier in the season, kind of like last year, because earlier in the year, the schedule's not easy. You've got Washington, Chicago, Jacksonville. These have all been playoff teams over the last couple of years, but I think it's definitely lighter at the top. So that Rams game is where I'm curious. Of all the games that have not been scheduled yet, I am curious where that one's going to go.
Yeah, that's going to be, speaking of tests, that's going to be one hell of a test. Absolutely. Pittsburgh, still an interesting one. Panthers, want to see where that one lands. Arizona's another one. The Titans. Titans know about
looks
the
like
Bears.
it's reported for week 2, or it's rumored to be. I'm not sure if it's official, but yeah, week 2 sounds like it's going to be Tennessee.
Oof.
Oh boy. All right.
That's a dud. That's a dud.
It's a fun road game, though. Nashville's fun.
Yeah, but hopefully, could that be a 1:00 game, please?
Maybe that's finally a Sunday at 1 p.m. we get. There's not going to be many of those.
Yeah.
I used to hate those as a kid. Now I love them.
Actually, that game's going to be played in Mexico City. That game's going to be played in Mexico City at 7:51 a.m.
Yeah.
So just be ready.
Speaking of Mexico City, though, it's going to be interesting because one of the NFC teams that usually figures into the playoff hunt, and this could affect the Eagles, are the 49ers, who play 2 games out of the country, 1 home and 1 away. They play the Rams week 1 in Melbourne, Australia, and then week 11 they play in Mexico City against the Niners. They're going to be traveling over 35,000 miles in an airplane this year. Now, tell me that's not going to wear them out. My early prediction is the Niners miss the playoffs.
Ooh. Rumor has it the Eagles are playing in the same area that Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson had their back procedures. No, I'm just kidding.
The Medellin.
Yeah, they're going to go over there too.
Yeah, the back platelets bowl. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. Right. It's going to be a good time. It really is wild when you do factor it in. How many miles did you say that is, Harry?
It's like over 35,000 miles, I think, in the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Now look, I know they're not traveling like you and me.
No.
Okay. And I know they're like every player has to have their own row.
I don't know. They always get bad. The Eagles always get bad grades for their air travel from the players.
That's right. That's true.
Right. Yeah.
So I got to look at what San Francisco is. Maybe they're going to upgrade. If they're bad, maybe they're going to upgrade before this. But maybe they get 2 jets to go out there. But this is it's still committing yourself to not being as comfortable as you could be and sitting in a very confined space.
It's a lot of time zones you're crossing, man. I mean, seriously. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And the Rams at week 1 are in Melbourne. The Rams. They could affect them early in the season. Who knows?
Good Lord.
I mean, it's like the preseason that counts, September.
The NFL, I think we're all just so happy football's back. You don't have to have these massive matchups the first couple weeks of the season.
I agree.
I don't know. I've just never been a big fan. Why are we putting these hugely important games when everyone's still figuring out who they are?
It's like college football. They always have that week 1 where all these games played at neutral sites.
You could throw Panthers Saints on our face on a Wednesday to start the year, and we're all going to watch it.
We'll eat it up.
Yeah, look what we're doing with the freaking schedule. Of course we're going to watch the NFC South. That's why I don't even love.
Agree.
The Eagles have now played the Commanders 4 times in a season opener since 2017. Why are in Dallas as well last year? That's 5 times you've opened the season since 2017 against a division opponent. I just think that's malpractice. I don't know. I don't.
No, I'm with you. Totally with you. That's where you blow one of those games against the Titans or the Texans,
or that's the Cardinals game or the Panthers.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So here's one question I'll have. When is it too much?
It's already too much.
Right, but I mean, even for people to push back on Roger Goodell, owners to push back on Roger Goodell, the Players Association to push back on Roger
I think
Goodell.
The NFL passed gluttony a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, so at some point, guess what? You're going to bust at the seams, babe. You know what I mean? You can only take so
country,
much.
Man. I don't know.
At one point, at what point are we the guy from the movie Seven with just our face down in a bowl of spaghetti? You know what I mean? And then Morgan Freeman
when it starts to become like a live event like the NFL draft where Goodell comes to the podium and announces each game. Maybe that's when we say, all right, that's when we draw the line. If they start to make this an event even like the draft lottery, then maybe I don't know though. I think that'll probably get good ratings too. I think they could do anything and we'll take it.
It certainly seems like it. And that's kind of unfortunate because I do believe the product is going to suffer again and again and again. And guess what? We're just gonna keep on eating until we can't take anymore. The only people that can really do anything about it is the PA, the NFL PA. That's the only people that can be like, all right, look, this is way too much.
Right.
We're expanding the brand.
Wait till
every agreement they ever made with this league. I mean, wait
till the 18-game schedule comes here in another couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
they're going to bend over and take it then too.
And you know
why? They're going to allow a third franchise tag to happen for players. I mean, they're just they never win those negotiations. So I agree. They could be the ones that stop it, but it's never going to happen.
Another bye week.
Yeah.
Another bye week. That's probably what's going to happen as well.
Are you guys a fan of early buys, or would you we talked about week 6 versus week 11? Would you have a preference there with where you would want it? Normally, I don't like an early buy, but then I keep thinking about 2024 and how that week 5 bye week literally won you a title. So, you know what I mean?
I kind of like it around week 10, week 10, week 11, somewhere around there, because then if you're planning a playoff run, you have like 6 or 7 straight games to go
before all
the
these primetime games you've got too against tough opponents. Yeah, I would say I probably prefer week 11, but we'll see.
Yeah, I prefer middle of the season. I know week 5 when they won the Super Bowl and they had the meetings and all that stuff with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni about Saquon Barkley and all that. That was an unfortunate positive. Like the fact that whatever you planned going into the season, it was like, well, this didn't work. We're idiots. Let's reset everything. Right. Hopefully you don't need too many of those as your career goes on as a head coach or as a play caller in this scenario for the Eagles. So I'll still stick with the middle of the season.
Yeah.
It allows guys to give something to look forward to. If you're banged up throughout the year, it gives you a little extra time there. And then you could maybe reset as well for that final push in the second half.
I think what actually happened that week is Kevin Patullo changed the offense.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah, he was the architect behind it all. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually heard he was making a lot of the draft picks too. Like he was Howie Roseman's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was there from the start. I don't know if you guys knew, but he helped Nick Sirianni with everything.
I have my own take on all of that. It's going to be a good time. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into this new narrative of Jalen Hurts because it does involve a beautiful flip-flop from a one Jeremy Fowler. All that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back after this.
Support for today's Locked On Eagles Squad episode comes from Square, the system that helps fix one of the biggest headaches in running a business. Starting a business is exciting, but actually running it, That's where things can get complicated fast. Payments, inventory, staff, scheduling, online orders. It's a lot to manage. That's why Square brings everything together in one connected system. Square helps you take payments, track sales, manage inventory, and keep your business running smoothly without juggling a bunch of disconnected tools. One thing I've noticed, even with a local coffee shop down the street, one of my favorite local spots, how seamless everything feels when they use Square. If you're starting a business or running one that deserves better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down. Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/LockedOnNFL. Once again, that's Square, SQUARE.com/go/LockedOnNFL. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
So remember a couple of weeks ago there, actually, what do we got? 6 weeks ago, story comes out about Jalen Hurts being uncoachable. Jalen Hurts very difficult to coach. Jalen Hurts wants to call his own plays. Jalen Hurts is a problem, blah, blah, blah. By that time, Kevin Patulo had already been fired. The story came out from Jeremy Fowler and Tim McManus initially. Then other stories started to pile onto it. We all more or less identified Kevin Patulo as the odds-on favorite to be the snitch in the story. But it was Jeremy Fowler and Tim McManus that came out with the story saying Jalen Hurts is tough to coach. That's why I found it so damn interesting that earlier this week, Jeremy Fowler was asked about Jalen Hurts, and he reported that sources are now telling him that Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion have really hit it off, and that Hurts is very interested in this new style of offense and confident in this new style of offense that the Eagles are going to be running this year. Does that sound like a locker room poison all of a sudden, Harry? Or does that sound like a guy who, oh my goodness, you got me a guy, and I'll say this joke again, who doesn't draw his plays up in crayon? Now all of a sudden I'm interested in what he could be doing. This sounds like a different guy than previously reported. It feels like the narrative has shifted a little bit.
Yeah, and that's good news. I mean, given the fact of how many offensive coaches has he had since he got into the NFL, Louie? 7, somewhere around there. I lost count.
Doug, Steichen, Sirianni, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, Kevin Patullo, and now Sean Mannion. So we're at 7 play callers.
Yeah, 7.
That's just in the NFL. Yeah.
7's the lucky number, Farzy. This is it. He's finally hit it off, and that's good news. He's going to take the bull by the horns with this new offense, and they're gonna probably fit some and tailor some things to what he does best, and then he's also going to have to sort of shake off the doubt about throwing footballs in certain areas over the middle of the field. And according to what you're hearing now, it looks like he's anxious to do that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, Louie, I'm not going to stop there with just Jeremy Fowler, but now I have to agree with Troy Aikman. And I don't ever like doing that, obviously. But Troy Aikman was out there on ESPN yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he was talking about Jalen Hurts and this new offense in response to the Jeremy Fowler new report that paints Jalen Hurts in a much better light, a more positive light, and quite frankly, I think a more accurate light. And Troy Aikman's talking about how, hey, in this new offense, obviously this is the 7th guy that he's going to be working with, and Sean Mannion, that's going to be his play caller, even more so that he had at the college level. Let's not forget about that. And now you're talking about him adjusting this new offense that is going to be a more modern NFL offense, blah, 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 get a lot of guys involved, all this stuff. But I have no doubt Jalen Hurts can do all the things that this offense will require him to do. So it's not just Fowler and sources. Yeah. It's also Troy Aikman looking at it and watching the film and watching this quarterback thinking, and also not just the quarterback, but knowing the offense as well, thinking that he can have success in it.
Yeah, look, you got to put things into context. I mean, that first story about Jalen maybe not being super coachable, I think there are some truths to it. Like Jalen leaning on his strengths and maybe being slow to grow in certain areas, like throwing over the middle of the field. That is true, right? Like I think that's true with a lot of players is when they have a weakness, a lot of times during the season, especially when you have new coaches all the time, you lean on what's gotten you here, what's gotten you literally to the mountaintop, which is Super Bowl MVP. But I always push back on Jalen is not coachable. He's not willing to do a lot of the things he's now being asked to do, because if you follow along all the things people say that Jalen's not willing to do, it ends up telling you he doesn't want to do anything. Like people have said he doesn't want to run the football. they've said he doesn't want to throw over the middle. He doesn't want to go under center. He doesn't want to do play action. So it's like, okay, if all this is true, then what are you saying Jalen wants to be? What does he want to do? So I don't believe that. And I remember actually after the 2023 collapse, there was another story by ESPN that said the opposite about Jalen, that he was actually frustrated how dependent the passing game was that year on the vertical game, on the deep ball. He wanted to use the horizontal areas of the field more. And so you can't really, like, a lot of it is contradictory. So I do believe, like, yeah, Jalen needs to grow, but I think he's open-minded to it. I mean, there's been so many instances throughout his career where he has grown in areas he's not super comfortable. A couple years ago, he was like the worst blitzing passing quarterback in the league. And now statistically, he's atop the league. So I have never really bought into the fact that he can't and won't do it. He's got to do it. But yeah, I think this story, like you said, Marc, is probably more accurate.
Mm-hmm. The thing that really drives me crazy also is in that original story with Fowler and McManus, it talked about, and we've talked about this a bunch, but he's so not coachable that he doesn't want to run motion, yet with Kellen Moore, they ran the 11th most motions in all the NFL.
And if he's so uncoachable, Marc, then why is a quarterback coach that literally got fired by this team this year still working with him when he has no incentive? He doesn't have to do that. Scott Loeffler is still working with Jalen. So if he was such a rat to work with, then why is that still going on?
And I also think if he was uncoachable, he would have been back at Alabama too, and Saban would have sent him packing.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well before the halftime incident.
Oh, yeah. And real quick, Jalen Hurts going from Bama to Oklahoma, completely different offense. Right. Oklahoma is an air raid, spread it out kind of passing attack that Jalen wasn't used to at Bama. And all he did was improve his completion percentage that year by 9%. He had over like 1,300 more passing yards and was a Heisman runner-up. So there's also proof of Jalen adapting to a brand new scheme, albeit it was college, but he's done this exact thing before too. So
and Lincoln Riley was still there then.
Yeah, completely different coach than Nick Saban. Yeah. So I mean that story was, I believe Kevin Patulo had a lot to do with it.
Boy.
Go ahead. Why do you hate Aikman to this day still? Can't you get over that? He's a good analyst he's great on Monday Night Football.
You know what it is? You know, it's funny. I listened to Tony Romo when he first started out, and my first reaction was he's going to get worse as his career goes on.
Which has happened.
Yeah, he got the bag after his first year, and he nailed it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, two things. The number one thing was he had just played. He had just game planned for some of these defenses. Like, he knew the deal. Right. The other was, and this is coming from someone who worked behind the scenes in national football coverage for 11 years in primetime football, you get information about the teams. Your producers, you are talking to the coaches, you are talking to the player. I wasn't doing it then, but someone in Tony Romo's position was, and a lot of those things are said like, hey, kind of off the record. You know, don't say this on the show, or don't say this on the broadcast, but blah blah blah. And then I think Romo was just kind of baking it into his opinion and wasn't doing it well. He wasn't covering it up well. I don't think Romo was doing that well. So I think the more he gets slapped on the wrist about that, which he eventually did, is the worse he's going to get. But as far as Romo, just listen to, I thought when I first listened to him do it, I was like, yeah, he's really good at this. That's great. And then he did his first Eagles game, and I was in no way, shape, or form prepared to hear him criticize the Eagles. And I did not like him at all. And now with Aikman, it's still along the lines of, I still have that little, and I know this is a me problem, but I still have that little, is the cowboy talking.
At least there's self-awareness. I'm with you. I agree. He was a cowboy. He wants to so I hate him. I feel like you have to. It's a rule. You have to hate that guy.
The one thing that he does that I don't like is he'll say, that's a good job by him. He always says that.
That's
like
a
he
good
refers
job
to
by
the
him.
player as him instead of his name, or it's a good job.
They all have their crutches. They all have their crutches. What's his name? I'm blanking right
Olsen?
now. Not Olsen.
Chris
Collins. Here's a guy. Chris Collinsworth.
Collinsworth.
Here's a guy.
Yeah.
Everything is here, and everything's funny. Everything is like, Donald, the way he just ripped that guy's face off. It's amazing. Like, what? Like, it's not always that funny, dude. Like, take a chill.
He's like knee slappers from Mike Tirico. You know, it's like, come on, man, the guy ain't that funny.
He's a cool dude, but not that. Yeah. So Aikman, I do respect him as an analyst, and I respect Romo as a color analyst. But I'll put it to you like this: in an interview setting, I can take a lot more Troy Aikman than I can Tony Romo.
Yes.
In a color analyst setting, it's a wash. I can't stand either one of them.
Really? I think Aikman's better.
It's still true. I'll give you. I will agree with you on that. Aikman is better. Yeah, but still.
Well, we'll probably have to listen to a lot of both of them this year for you.
I know.
Still grinds my.
I don't know if there's any avoiding those two. We've got Aikman at least for 2 Monday night games. So we know week 3 we got him, and then week 7.
And there'll be some Brady and Kevin Burkhardt too, I'm sure.
There we go. Oh, gentlemen.
Oh my!
How about this? Hey now.
Oh,
record
off the
time
frozen pond.
I got stuck behind Cliff Clavin in the mail truck, Harry.
Oh, God.
Were you down South Jersey?
Mic.
What's wrong with it?
You have the right mic on?
You sounded better
Are you
in the
still
car.
in the car?
Yeah. Jesus.
Get in your NASCAR simulator.
Wow.
Really we're pushing
right.
Did you drop Danny off at the airport so he can get the cottage season?
I did not. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
A little better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
he's have you back.
Draft's coming up in 5 weeks' time, Harry.
Oh yeah.
The preparations are underway with the hockey operations staff.
What pick do they have?
They don't know yet. They do know, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to figure that out. Maybe like 22nd, something like that. 24th.
We should do a mock draft.
They asked me to stay for the preparation for the draft, but I kindly declined to join you fellas here on the podcast on the program.
Wow.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on the schedule? We talked about the schedule at the start.
I have a couple of immediate thoughts. Number one, why even call something a scheduled release day when it's all going to be leaked? Get this under control.
They should call it schedule leak day. That'd be fun.
Yeah, yes.
Schedule leak week.
It's like on Mondays before free agency when they call it the legal tampering window.
Yes.
It's like, this is free agency. Just call it free agency.
This is the schedule release takes more leaks than I do, Harry. Hey, you know how many I would take in a 4-hour program. I mean, Jesus.
Wow.
I have a bladder the size of a thimble.
A walnut.
Yeah. If I have a couple cocktails, as you know,
then
I'm really in trouble, which has been a while. But
a lot of leaking.
So it's ridiculous. Like, why can't these guys just hold off and give us something in total once?
Well,
but they can't do that.
What they've given us, what are your thoughts? The stuff that has leaked out.
22,000 miles is what they'll travel. I don't know if you guys touched on that.
No, I touched on the Niners traveling over 35,000 miles.
Yeah, which is insane. Do we have to play another game at Tottenham Stadium?
Yeah.
Against
Jackson? Oh, you're not going? Wait, you're not going?
No. It's hockey season. Can Jacksonville just become the London Jaguars at this point?
I know.
I think soon they might.
They might, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending 2 straight weeks over there.
No, aren't they? I mean, they are renovating. They just spent a lot of money renovating their stadium. But they should have done this years ago when they were kind of irrelevant in the NFL. They probably should have made the move.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing's absurd because we've seen, they're opening with the Commanders. Harry, do you like that they're playing on Thanksgiving? Because we do the postcast.
No, I don't.
No, that's going to be a trick to fan postcast.
Yeah, the Eagles playing on the holidays is a no-go.
They're also playing on Christmas Eve, Farsi told us.
Yep.
See?
Yeah.
They've gone too far.
Houston.
Right.
No good.
They're at home against Houston that Christmas Eve.
See, that sucks for the people that have to go and work that game.
It does. It does.
This is getting ridiculous. You don't need to play every day of the week.
They want their fingerprints on everything. I used to love just having the NBA and that is it on Christmas. Like I don't know. I don't think the NFL needs to be a part of everything.
It was perfect with just the NBA because I didn't have to watch it.
I never watched the NBA.
So easy to ignore. You had 81 other games.
You guys didn't like Knicks Sixers at 1 p.m.? It's a good way to tune up the day started.
That was a Christmas Story Miracle on 34th Street Marathon day.
Yeah.
With that on.
I like a little LeBron in my life before Christmas started.
Oh, God. I never liked LeBron in my life.
Did you guys touch on the strength of schedule?
We did not mention that. No.
Yeah, I mean the strength of schedule is pretty nice. It's like 22nd, I think, in the NFL, and a lot of people go, "Well, why is that?" It's because the other teams in the division have sucked. They haven't been good. So yeah, their strength of that's miles traveled. I have the tweet here with the data on it, But yeah, their strength of schedule, I think, is sub 500. Here it is. So the Eagles come in the NFL, the opponent's winning percentage for the Philadelphia Eagles this coming season. Why can't I find
How is that possible if they have a first
481
schedule? How is
this
that
past
possible?
season? Well, it's because of the
I think
division.
a lot of it's the division.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think the NFC East is going to be a lot better.
They're going to be better.
So
yeah.
How much stock do you put into that?
Right.
Yeah, the Bears have the hardest at .550.
But to counter that, it is interesting to Jason's point about the win percentage. So like the NFC East is going to be better, but I actually look at a lot of these teams that made the playoffs over the last couple of years that they play, like the Panthers. Are they going to be like a wagon this year? I'm not so sure. Like is Houston with CJ Stroud? How good are they going to be at the end?
Well,
of
you
the
had
year?
no receivers in that playoff game. I mean, everybody was hurt.
Stroud was egregious though in both.
He was terrible.
games.
He was terrible.
You know, Chicago, like they might be a prime suspect for the regression season. San Francisco, like Harry said, is traveling around their an old roster. So it's an interesting.
Now, how will
schedule.
they get to Australia, Louie? Do we have the itinerary on this yet? Do they fly across the U.S.?
I got to check my flight aware.
Actually,
stop in Guam.
They're going to take a cruise ship,
go.
and they're going to take a cruise ship and play a football game on the cruise ship. That's where it's going to be for the new part of the preseason. Going to be on a cruise ship. New idea from Roger Goodell's being made.
Nice, a nice tie-in with Carnival Cruise Lines as a sponsor. Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know. I feel like it's Disney. I feel like the Disney cruise.
Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
The two monopolies have to join forces here at some point.
ABC.
Right?
ABC has the Super Bowl this year, don't they?
There you go.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. There it is.
There we go.
Then it is Disney Cruises.
Yeah.
Will they just go to Hawaii and fly that way and stop in New Zealand? Like, I don't know the route.
All bets are off at this point, you know? They're going to play everywhere at some point.
It's pretty bonkers.
When do we get an Italian game? I want a game in Italy.
Well, I'm looking forward to all the terrible
a motherland game
Paris.
with the Eagles there would be phenomenal.
Well, that's because of all you Italians.
Yeah.
The South Philly be empty. You could go down there and rob all the houses. Nobody be home.
Take the boot over.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many
over the boot?
You know how many Nonas and Zias and Zios couches we could sleep on over there? We'll be set. We don't even need hotel rooms. Come on now. It's pretty easy. Big Dom can narrate the Open. You know what I mean? It's going to be
literally will be an episode of The Sopranos. It would be phenomenal.
I think the NFL should concentrate on going to an even number of games and stop all this internet. Like, you can have some international, but this is crazy.
Yeah, they got 9 of them this year.
They're making money, man.
Pandora's box is open. They are not good. Yeah, there's no going back.
Greenland cannot be far off.
They'll have the Vikings playing Greenland. They'll be back. The Vikings return.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
Could we get a game in the Orient, perhaps? That I would travel for, for obvious reasons.
You would? Jeez.
Hey-o.
Set me up in Seoul.
Jason, one more thing I want to bring you up to speed on. We talked about the schedule. Jalen Hurts' new narrative. Jeremy Fowler put it out there saying a month and a half ago that he's uncoachable. Now, apparently, he's getting along swimmingly with Sean Mannion, and then also, and he was embracing the new system, the new offense, and then Troy Aikman's like, anything you need Jalen Hurts to do, he can do. That's not. It hasn't been the narrative until recently. Now
he's as open to new things as he ever has, apparently.
But we haven't heard reporting that he's open to new things as he ever has, which is why they were in shotgun, despite the fact that under center worked way better last year. I don't know. Look, it's all mumbo jumbo. There's people going out there and telling Troy Aikman stuff, and the PR firms out there getting a message out to counter the Jeremy Fowler message. At this point, it's like, just show me what happens. Not in London, but show me what happens on the football field. Because like this whole, I think they haven't had a scrimmage yet with Sean Mannion. They're doing. So is he going to be receptive to it when the rubber meets the road? That'll be the true test.
He should be. His numbers, I looked this up last week. Jalen Hurts' best 4 games last year came in the wins where they played more under center than any other game. So it was the Minnesota Giants wins back to back. And then it was the Raiders and the Commanders wins to clinch the NFC East. In those games, Jalen Hurts had a 12-0 touchdown to interception ratio. He averaged a 77.7% completion percentage and had almost 1,000 passing yards in those 4 games. So, like, why would he not be receptive? He knows it works. You know what I mean? Like, his 4 best and only complete games of last season, including a game where he had a perfect passer rating, were the games he played under center more than any other matchup. So I don't know, that narrative is weird. Why he even said last year he's very open to it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that is the Raiders who were god awful.
Sure, of course.
And Washington's defense was
the
terrible.
teams weren't great, but I mean,
that
he's
Minnesota
shown an
game
ability
on the
to
road.
do that kind of. He can run that style of offense.
Yeah.
By the way, we do have a viewer here, Evan. Hello from England. He's asking if any of us are going to make it over there. Louie, I feel like you're the most well-traveled amongst us all when it comes to going to the site. You're considering a good old London trip. You ever been over?
I've never been over the pond. I'm thinking about it.
Really?
I have an Italy trip next June, though. So
Me neither.
I don't know if I could do 2 Europe trips in 1 year, but we'll see.
Well, if Locked On pays for the one, you can do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's.
Hey, I've been a company man. I think they should pay for it. I agree.
Start working on it.
Put it on the corporate card.
These Square ad reads got to pay off, right?
That's right.
You could say you're scouting locations in Italy for the Eagles to play a game there.
Yeah.
Right. That's
I found one. It's just the Roman Coliseum.
Yeah. I had that thought. I think we would literally bring that place down. We would literally bring that place down. As a
I don't think the infrastructure there can hold South Philly alone. So.
No. Roman concrete took on the Gauls, but it never saw South Philly. You know what I mean? All right. You're welcome. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about trebuchets. Okay. When we come back, we'll talk about how Kevin Patullo built the Eagles. That was fun. And then we'll get into Jaire Alexander's message in the Players Tribune. Pretty wild. We'll get to that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Like and subscribe back after this. And right now, it's time to tell you about the Gametime app. You want to have yourself a good time? You want to be in the action? You know, you can stream anything. You can order food in minutes, do everything from your phones. Well, how about get tickets on your phone from the Gametime app? Because the Gametime app gives fans the advantage where it belongs, puts the advantage back in the fans' hands where it belongs, and makes getting tickets fast and simple. You just look at the tickets for an upcoming game. Eagle schedule fully released later today. It's all right there. Zone deals are also fantastic on the Gametime app. You pick the section, Gametime picks the seats, and you save big. You can also view your seats' vantage point before you buy the tickets. So you take the guesswork out of buying tickets every way possible with the Gametime app. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Gametime app, and again, use promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app today. Did you guys, I know we hinted at this earlier. Kevin Patulo is doing a meet the coaches type of situation down there in Miami. And he's asked about his time with the Eagles, as one would assume. And he says, well, you know, Nick brought me in first. I was the first one there with Nick. And we built that culture from the ground up. We built that team from the ground up. I was a big part of building the Philadelphia Eagles. Blah, 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 blah. Is anybody buying the idea that Kevin Patullo, Harry, I'll ask you first, that Kevin Patullo really helped build the Philadelphia Eagles to what they are today?
For some reason, I'm thinking of that bad Jefferson Starship song, "We Built This City," as you were saying.
Worst song ever, Harry.
The worst song they ever did, and one of the worst songs in music. But anyway, this is interesting because, you know, it is kind of interesting to listen to him say this kind of stuff about him and Sirianni back in the beginning days of the Eagles. And it sort of makes sense then that Sirianni eventually was maybe grooming and cultivating him to be his eventual offensive coordinator. And the day finally came when he could actually name this guy his OC. And the whole thing never even got off the ground, which is like he might be good at certain things and probably is at culture building and, you know, inside the organization kind of stuff. But when it came time to put him on the field and actually have him call plays, it was an abject disaster. And so I think there was obviously value with this guy. I mean, there's no way a guy like Nick Sirianni would keep him around and try to, you know, maybe groom him for his eventual, OC job, which he would then hope that the guy did so well that he'd go on to be a head coach. I mean, that's the way these guys are built. They like to move their guys along, and they, you know, it's like Andy Reid did that. He still does that his entire career. So part of me thinks that he did have a big part in it, but it just came down to the fact that once he got asked to call plays, you found out what he absolutely could not do.
All right. Peter principle, rise to the point of your own incompetence eventually.
Right.
Jason, you buying what Kevin Patullo is selling?
I saw the video, and I swear to I'm not lying. I thought it was a deep fake. I thought it was an AI video. I'm not even kidding. I go, this is because you can't those videos are so good now.
Oh, they're so good.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was like, the gall, like the stones on this guy, right? Like, does he realize how bad it was last year? And look, you may be a part of building it and all that, but like Harry said, it was an abject failure that was just hideous looking. The fact that he made it through the season is one of the, understated stories in sport with how bad it was. But yeah, I thought it was a deep fake. I thought I was being duped. I was afraid to click on it at first when I saw what the caption said he was saying. I thought my Twitter was going to get hacked, and I was going to have to close it down. But
thought you're going to
would have been a good thing,
like
probably.
D-Gun.
Yeah, exactly,
geez.
and a lot of others.
Good Lord, Louie, what'd you make of it?
I mean, he has to do this, right? Because he had, I think, when you put it into context, that might have been the worst play calling season in the history of football. When you think about what he had at his disposal and how bad at times it was, like that was the most expensive offense in football. And they had multiple games. By multiple, I mean, 4 to 5 games where they didn't even complete a single pass in the second half. They didn't even get one first down in the second half. How many second halves of the football game last year were they completely shut out? So when you think about all of the weapons they had and how dominant they were a calendar year before, you could make the argument Patulo did the worst play calling job in the history of this league. So of course he's got to talk himself up to say why he should even be employed anymore by an NFL team. I know Harry's right that there is some value to Kevin Patulo in the past, but I really don't want to hear that right now, considering how bad he was. And I believe he was the snake. I think this guy had no accountability at all. I think he would talk dirt about Jalen Hurts the minute he could anonymously. He would never take, even in press conferences, he never just took accountability and said, I got to do a better job. I know we all used to get sick of Andy Reid doing that, but Patulo never did it. And so, yeah, seeing him on a camera just kind of hype himself up. I know he's got to do it, but I just did not want to hear a word of it.
Do you remember the scene in The Office when Kathy Bates takes over and they're all trying to impress her with how important they are? And Craig Robinson's character, he hands her a resume, and the resume says moved over 1 billion units of product. And she's like, what does that mean, 1 billion units of product? And he's like, pieces of paper. And she's like, what? Like, it's basically the biggest fudging you could do on a resume. I'm a communications director. You work at the front desk. Okay. Like those aren't the same things. That's what I felt like Kevin Patulo was doing. He was fudging his resume to sound like it was a lot more important than what it was. And here's why. It's not just because, like, look, did he have importance at any ounce of importance? Certainly. He wasn't here for nothing. But when you think about an owner that is hands-on like Jeffrey Lurie, and then you think about a guy as in control as Howie Roseman, and then you think about the head coach who's overseeing it all below those two, Kevin Patulo on the pecking order when he came in was nothing. Nothing. It passed over twice for the offensive coordinator position. So we built the culture. Really? Because I think Jason Kelce had something to do with that culture. I think Lane Johnson had something to do with that culture. Brandon Graham had something to do with that culture. I think those guys had something to do with that culture before you ever set foot in that locker room. So when I heard it, I just went, okay, there, bro. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
I really can't believe he got another job. I can't believe
it's a good old boy.
I know.
Good old boy
Everyone
network.
knows.
Come on.
Gentleman's club, I know. But it's
What is he, the passing game coordinator in Miami?
God, I hope not. I think
something like that.
Yeah, it is. I think.
Did you say gentleman's club?
Yeah, my bad. Hitch routes for days up in Miami. Poor Malik Willis, dude.
Yeah. Quinn
Who
Ewers,
does he have a receiver to throw to? That's
Ewers is down there too, right?
Oh, I get why they hired Kevin Patulo. Miami's trying to tank for the first overall pick next year. They want a quarterback, right? They traded away Jalen Waddle. They cut Tyreek Hill. They hired Kevin Patulo.
No more Tua.
He is the passing game. He is the passing game coordinator, by the way.
I did too.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of A-chain. Yeah. a lot of runs.
Those beautiful route trees he was drawing up last year.
I think Louis on that. Like the ultimate way to tank is
let's hire the worst play caller.
Yeah, just hire a guy who utterly failed, then have him put out a video about how he built it all.
Oh, it's so good.
But I mean, we've seen this all throughout the league for decades. Like Hackett, remember Hackett? The play caller was
Paul Hackett.
Yeah. Paul Hackett, terrible, and he kept on getting jobs. Like it just happens.
It's a good old boys club.
Yeah, it always happens.
Chip Kelly's at Northwestern. If anybody needs him,
is that where he's at now?
Northwestern Wildcats.
So he left Ohio State and he's now at Northwestern, huh? Wow.
Well, the Raiders fired him last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He went to the Raiders after Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was not good. Not good.
He's like a coaching gypsy at this point.
Well, a lot of those guys, that's their life.
Yeah.
I'd take Chip. I'd rather have Chip Kelly come back than ever have Kevin Patulo touch my offense.
But you talk about the schedule to bring it full circle, and I think Louie touched on this when we talked about it. Like those first 4 or 5 games are going to be really key. I'm going to be interested to see who they play after the Commanders as well, to see what kind of start can they get off with all this newness.
That's why I prefer the schedule to be easier at the start, because there might be some growing pains, right? Kind of like in 2024, but they're going to stick with it this time. So I hope it's Tennessee week 2, maybe get that Arizona or Indy game early in. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the thing is if you don't get off to a good start, you start questioning the new offense right away.
Right.
You want to ride a wave. You hope you have some, some really thin defenses that you get right away.
And you're not going to have a bye week 5 to fix it.
No.
Yeah, you'll be in London. Maybe you'll have a bye week 6.
I like they're starting at home though.
Is the London game week 5 or week 6?
Week 5.
It's week 5. Okay.
Yep.
So then that bye could be week 6.
Do we know the date of that?
October 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
All right.
That's how it works. Little reminder that these guys do have hearts and souls. If you didn't read Jaire Alexander's message on the Players Tribune, it is wild. It is, while we're going through it as fans or media members, this guy is going through it, obviously, as the player, as the human being, and it is pretty interesting. We'll get to that, and also some final thoughts when we come back. This is Locked On Eagles Squad show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back after this. And right now it's time to tell you about Rocket Money. You ever look at your bank account and go, where did all the money go? Not knowing where things are going, that could be not great. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances, and it puts it all in one place. It tracks your subscriptions all in one spot, and you can cancel the ones you don't need. I just had this bill just kept coming up every month, $20 to Google. What is happening here? And then finally, it tracked it and knew what it was. Didn't even need it, so I got rid of it. Thanks to Rocket Money. It automatically characterizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. You can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of your upcoming bills. It makes everything feel more organized. It gives you the clear picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Jaire Alexander in the Players Tribune detailed his exit from the Philadelphia Eagles when he just abruptly, after being acquired from the Ravens, came to Philadelphia, was here with Christian Parker and was feeling great, had not played with the Ravens, was feeling healthy, knee was feeling strong, was going to give it a go against his former team, the Green Bay Packers, but said they were going to drain his knee as fluid was building up. It kept swelling up, unfortunately, before that game. And then finally, he walked you through the whole thing of calling the Eagles, saying, I'm done late at night, and then showing up the next day at the then NovaCare complex and saying, no, seriously, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I got to worry about not only my physical, but my mental health. And he's basically crying to Christian Parker about how he's got to hang it up for at least the time being. And if there's anything that I credit either Player on Player podcast for or publications like Players Tribune, if I credit it for anything, it's that these players feel like they can be a lot more comfortable, either putting it in their own words or speaking with somebody who could really identify with where they've been. And I haven't read an article like this in a very long time. And Jaire Alexander walks you through everything as to why he did not pan out here in Philadelphia. And Louie, I know we were talking a lot about corners. They finally acquire him. Obviously, a phenomenal career that he was able to put together. But last year, unfortunately, it all fell apart, and that's where it did.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think it just shows in football how quick the drop-off can happen, especially for a position like corner. I mean, we saw it too, not injury-wise, but performance-wise. Like James Bradbury's an all-pro in 2022, and then look what happens in 2023. And that messes with your psyche when you're on top of the world, and then suddenly you're getting, you're 2 steps behind a receiver like Alexander talked about he was against the Bills, that, season opener with the Ravens. And I get why he bailed out when he did. Like, that Green Bay, when they cut him, that messed him up. And to come back in Philadelphia, maybe not be yourself and get shredded at Lambeau Field when you're not 100%. The weather was going to be like 7 to 10 degrees. It was going to be freezing. And with a bad knee, like, that's not good. So yeah, it adds some context to what was a really weird moment. Like, I was really excited about the Alexander signing. I thought he was going to come in and actually impact this team on the field, and then just abruptly was gone. So this adds context, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And he was a great player, like in his prime in Green Bay, one of the best inside-out corners in football.
Yeah, he was. But it makes me. I didn't read the piece, but it makes me question, like, why did Howie bring him in here if he was so banged up?
Yeah,
like
take a flyer.
Yeah,
take a flyer.
Yeah,
you need help. Yeah. Ja'Cory Bennett was here, for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and he said that he was feeling good in the beginning of the week practice-wise, and then it kind of flared up right, as they're getting closer to game week or, game time. And that's when he kind of made a last-second decision to not play anymore. But, yeah, I mean, it's even just the name alone, considering the price was like nothing. It's worth a flyer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you're doing the agent a favor, too. Give the guy one last chance, and he came to the conclusion that he couldn't come to before, that it was over. And sometimes you do those little things and give the agent a little a little help there, and it's quid pro quo.
Reach around. Does that qualify as a reach around? Yeah.
I was going to say
I didn't do it.
I was going to say future considerations.
Right.
That's what I would
say.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Is that your future consideration?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'll never ask for some future considerations from you.
Real quick, we have a couple more schedule.
Oh, jeez. No. 2 games on Christmas Eve.
So week 17,
2027 preseason now.
They are playing on a cruise ship now, aren't they? They're playing on a cruise ship.
Right. It's Royal Caribbean, actually. So
come
wrong on both fronts.
You're wrong.
Yeah, Norwegian as well. Week 17 there on the road, San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. So that week 15, 16, 17, you got Seattle, Houston, and then San Fran. On a Saturday, Christmas Eve, and then Sunday Night Football. So
wait, they're at Levi Stadium?
They're at Levi Stadium, week 17. Sunday Night Football.
Wait, I actually like that. A one-off after a Thursday Night Football game out west?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Christmas Eve is the week before against Houston, and then, San Fran on the road. Also, it's confirmed that the first Giants game, I don't know if we said this one already, it's going to be week 9 after the Commanders Sunday night game, week 8. So
November 8th.
Yeah.
So it's my brother's
and
birthday.
Titans confirmed week 2.
The Niners game isn't New Year's Eve, is it?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it?
I don't know. If it's a week after the freaking Dallas or the
Eagles are
Christmas Eve.
ruining my holiday season.
You said Sunday Night Football, right?
Was it
Sunday Night Football? Yes.
Oh, okay. Then
yeah, so we're good.
All right.
Okay.
But now I'm going to go back and look. Damn it.
Yeah.
I got to do something to get off this postcast gig.
I'm in Florida. The reception's not good.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Anyway, it's snowing like crazy down here. All right. All right, folks. That's called a program. Thanks for joining us. Jason, thank you for your heroic efforts in battling the traffic back from South Jersey. Hey, real quick, Danny Briere say anything?
He did. Said quite a bit. Yeah. Tune into the Flyers Daily tomorrow. We're not going to take our hand or anything.
I'll be going to my first playoff hockey game tonight.
Wait, we can.
Whoa.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
going to game 5, Montreal Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't your open
game.
Wow. Wait, we can
I'm
leak.
Louie DiBiase. I'm going to be at the barn tonight.
Yeah.
We can leak over half the Eagles' schedule, but you can't leak a nugget from the Danny Briere press conference?
I suppose I could.
Did you ask him how he maintains that baby face? Did you ask that question?
Well, yeah, we did. His playoff numbers came up. Let's just say that.
All right.
Just got to shave every day,
Like he was a good player in the regular season.
Oh, but he was a great player in the playoffs.
Yeah, and like the meat and potatoes of his career, 102 playoff games in that time, 106 points. He was not a point per game player. But in the playoffs,
season,
he
when he was in Buffalo too, he almost won the Sabres a cup. I mean, 05, 06, and 06, 07 were unbelievable runs, and he was the captain.
That's when it started, Louie. That's when
he was unbelievable back then. Yeah,
I always wonder, like, what's that tangible thing that he has that if you could know what that is, you know how to build a team, right?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
So, yeah, he was great.
Well, if it's any, I gotta.
Michkov was on the ice. I'll tell you that.
Okay,
Michkov
that's
was
good.
On the, we were taping. There's a glass to rink 2, and he was out there just putting holes in some pigeon goalie that was out there, some like high school kid or D3 player or something.
Is that like Pat Egan out there on the ice?
Kind of looked. If you got a red helmet, they're kind of built the same way.
That's awesome.
Now that's a program. Jason Martinez, Louie DiBiase, Harry Mays, Marc Farzetta. Make sure you guys are like and subscribe and Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Hey, we're running it back tomorrow, by the way. That's right, the Boom Boom. Go through the rest of the schedule. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be back with you guys tomorrow. See you guys then. Bye-bye.